And we're live. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here. Welcome to the Cardone Solutions Podcast. My name is David Bradley, Senior Sales and Marketing Manager with Grant Cardone. Now, what do we do on the Cardone Solutions Podcast? It's very simple. We're going to take the content that Grant's putting out on the internet. 85% of what we do here is 100% free. I'm going to take stuff like emails he's sending out. I'm going to take a blog post he throws up, maybe an article he writes, a tweet sometimes, something out on the gram. We'll take it, I'm going to pull it out, I'm going to dissect it, regurgitate it a little bit, and then we'll spit it back out to you with some action ideas and things you can do with the material to then plug it in to your sales and your business and your life. That's what happens on the Cardone Solutions Podcast. Every once in a while, I throw my own little 2 cents in there. I throw my own little opinions, my thoughts, my ideas. Right? Been following Grant since 2003. I've been studying his material since 2003. Right? And I've been working for him since 2011. So I've got some insights too. And today I'm going to take a couple different insights from a couple different people and weave it all together and give you something that you can take with you into your next deal. Okay? You ready for that? Yeah. So let's talk about a couple things though. Before I get started, before I get into that, if the Cardone Solutions Podcast is working for you, if it's giving you some value, if it's helping, if it's adding some fuel to your fire, if it's giving you some entertainment, if it's made you laugh, made you smile, hopefully hasn't made you cry, at least not in a bad way, make sure that you've subscribed to the Cardone Solutions Podcast and you've also shared it out. If you hear something that's a juicy nugget that you like, that you got something from, make sure other people can get something from it too. You can judge a man or a woman. You can judge a human by their willingness to help and serve. And so if it has helped you, then I want to then it's going to help somebody else, right? So make sure that you're sharing it out there as well. Thank you for that. And then, hey, if it's not, or if it is, either way, would love a review. Wherever it is that you're enjoying podcasts, throw me some stars. Throw me a review, throw me your 2 cents on it. If you've got suggestions for me, because ultimately the podcast is for two people. Number one, it's for me. Because I love it. I'm having a blast, okay? So it's for me, okay? It's a little selfish, but that's the reality. But it also is for you. And I want to make sure that if you're listening and if you're following along, that it resonates with you, that you're getting something out of it, that you're having a good time too. So let me know what you'd like to hear on the Cardone Solutions Podcast. Let me know what you would like me to cover. And let me talk about a sponsor, okay? I'm going to get into that. The sponsor of the Cardone Solutions Podcast is twofold. The first one is our live events. I'm going to stack a couple together right now. But live events, ain't no virus going to stop us. We are a human culture. We are a tribal culture. We like to get together as people. We like to be around each other. We like to commiserate. And we like to work together. We like to create. So the 10X Growth Con. This is where we get 12,000 some odd folks together. And we spend 3 days working on sales, business, and creating your ideal life. And then we bring these amazing people that didn't have a lot when they got started, but now have a whole bunch of success under their belt so they can share with us what they did to get there and how it has helped them. We've seen people at our events like Russell Brunson. We've seen people like Tim Grover. We've seen Magic Johnson. We had Dana White last year. We had Floyd Money Mayweather was there. Usher, Scooter Braun, John Travolta showed up, okay? So there's some pretty amazing human beings that show up to talk about success. When is the next one? Excellent question. Glad you asked. Don't know. We don't have a date yet. Where's it going to be? Not real sure yet. Are tickets available? Abso-freaking-lutely they're available, okay? So for pricing, special pricing right now, feel free to give me a call. I'm at 310-777-0352 or you can visit cardonesolutions.com/10xgrowthcon to see a full lineup of last year's speakers, as well as sign up for more information about the event as we get closer. The other event that we do is very similar to the Growth Con, but it's more focused on business. And it's called the 10X Business Bootcamp, and we don't bring 12,000 people. It's a more intimate setting. We gather about 500. That's usually the max. And with social distancing, we got it set up so everybody's got all the room that they need, okay, to come in and get something out of it. But we spend 3 days with Grant and the sales team and the executive team from Cardone Training Technologies working with you on you and your business, sales, business, company culture, expansion, growth, marketing, all of it. We cover it all, okay? You're going to learn something from Grant. We're going to talk about it for a second, and you guys are going to break off and you can do some role play and practical applications that you take it home with you. Now, stay to the end of the podcast because I've got a very special offer for you that involves the boot camp and Cardone University stacked together. Yeah, hang on for that. It's going to be worth it. Stick around, okay? All right, but let's get into today's topic, which is this. Can you close a deal like Lao Tzu? Who? Lao Tzu. Can you close a deal like Lao Tzu? So if you're wondering who in the hell is Lao Tzu, allow me to fill that in for you. Lao Tzu was a philosopher. He was a philosopher and a poet from ancient China, and he is known as the reputed author of the Tao Te Ching. He's also considered to be the founder of Taoism, and he's got deity status in certain religious sects of Taoism, okay, and in other traditional Chinese religions. So he's born in Henan, China, and he died in 531 BC. So there's a quote of his from the Tao Te Ching. I'm gonna read it to you. Then I'm gonna relate it back to you. Then we're gonna tie that in to you closing a deal. You ready for that? Okay. Here we go. Softness triumphs over hardness. Gentleness over strength. The flexible is superior over the immovable. This is the principle of controlling things by going along with them, of mastery through adaptation. Softness triumphs over hardness, gentleness over strength. The flexible is superior over the immovable. This is the principle of controlling things by going along with them, of mastery through adaptation. Brilliant. So what is Lao Tzu trying to tell us? What'd you get from that? What'd you get from it already? Especially when you start thinking about closing sales. Is there a Tao of selling? I mean, how does this even align with selling and closing a deal? How does this align with just communication in general? Okay, so let's break it down. You want to break it down? Okay. Softness triumphs over hardness. Now, if a customer shows up with their guard up, right, and they're all defensive, we call these RDRs in Grant's world. They show up and they're having this, I'm not interested, just looking. Okay? If you match their energy, how's that going to go for you? When you've done that in the past, right, when you have somebody that's having a reactionary defense response, when they're emotional in sales at the point of contact, and you've matched that energy, how has that gone for you? Promise you, 100% of the time, it did not go very well at all. Definitely not the way you wanted it to. Certainly didn't set up the rest of the cycle. Even if you did sell it, it was probably the worst. It wasn't the best experience ever, right? Okay? So just start thinking with, hey, how can softness triumph over hardness right now, especially at the point of contact? Gentleness over strength. Let's get into that for a second. So when a client says, just looking, not interested, and you get all like forceful with them. Hey, I've only got 10 minutes, right? Well, sir, we can't do anything in 10 minutes. I'm going to need this much time if you're serious. Okay. Hey, come back when you got time. You get strong on them. How has that helped? Probably hasn't. Okay. The flexible is superior over the immovable. So when someone says your price is too high, arguing about it is only going to convince them that they're right. That's a life lesson, by the way. If someone says your price is too high or anything that you disagree with, you arguing with them is only going to convince them that they're right. Lao Tzu goes on to say, this is the principle of controlling things by going along with them. Notice he says controlling things. Okay, you control your sales process. You don't control the customer. Big difference. You try and control the person and they're going to fight back. But you control the process and they'll want to go with it, with you. And then he wraps it up with saying, of mastery through adaptation. And since we're quoting and dropping bombs from wise Chinese men, let's throw this one into the mix, shall we? Be like water, making its way through cracks. Do not be assertive, but adjust to the object, and you shall find a way around or through it. If nothing within you stays rigid, outward things will disclose themselves. Empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. If you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now, water can flow, or it can crash. Be water, my friend. Now, if you don't know who said it, shame on you. That was the great, mighty Bruce Lee. Okay. There is a great song that was put together called Be Water. And if you'd like it, let me know. Shoot me an email, david@grantcardone.com. Just say, hey, send me the Be Water song, and I'll send it to you. It's pretty awesome. I like listening to it when I work out. But let's turn our attention to another wise man, not from China, but rather Louisiana. Uncle G. Okay. From his book, Sell or Be Sold. Here we go. You ready? The first rule of selling is that no matter what product you are selling, always agree with the customer. This is the single most important, most basic, and most commonly violated rule in all of selling. And really in all of communication. If you want agreement, you have to be agreeable. If you want agreement with any person, you have to be agreeable with them in order to get agreement from them. This vital rule is not to be confused with the old saying, the customer is always right. The customer is not always right. If you've ever been with one, you know what we're talking about. The point is, right or wrong, agree. Don't disagree and fight the deal and never expect people to agree with you if you're disagreeing with them. People are attracted to products, ideas, and people that represent the things that they are already in agreement with. End quote. Now, if you've ever listened to GC Live, which is an audio recording of a workshop Grant did, Grant talks about moving in the direction of the objection. And if you're out in the ocean, like where I live, when you go out and you're swimming in the ocean, if you get stuck in a rip current, you don't swim against the current. It's going to wear you out and then you drown. You go with the current and it'll spit you back out. Granted, you got to walk a little further back to get to where you started, but you don't fight that. So it goes right back to what Grant was saying in Sell or Be Sold. The disagreement, it pushes people away. Agreement brings them in. Just hit the mic. Sorry about that. Agreement brings them in. Okay? When we're closing a deal, we often get, all hung up on like just closing for the sake of closing. And we lose sight of the big picture. Which is what? What's the big picture, Dave? Let me tell you what it is. It's this. It is that your product, your company, and your level of service is the solution here, that it's worth way more than the price you're asking, and that the buyer needs this more than they need the money in their pocket. Because if you don't get your product or service into their hands, you haven't helped them. Closing is a service. And if you struggle with that concept, I would like to encourage you to go back into Sell or Be Sold and the Closer Survival Guide and reread some of the chapters on that. There's a whole section of the Closer Survival Guide on closing as a service, and Grant gets really into it deeper in Sell or Be Sold under the hard sell. Because if you're in disagreement with them, but still pushing, then they're going to feel like you're just selling them, that they're being sold, okay? Or that you don't care. Nobody wants to feel like that. So you got to come in with this high level of rapport, maintain the rapport and the level of service with your buyer the whole time. This making sense? You picking up what I'm putting down? Well, I'm not putting it down. Lao Tzu put it down. Bruce Lee put it down. Uncle G put it down. I'm just giving it to you now. So are you picking it up? That's the most important thing right now. The next thing you got to keep in mind, though, is you can't do any of this effectively without two things. You need the right material, and you need practice. Now, the right material, well, that's in Cardone University. The people to practice with are not your customers. They're in the Facebook group that you get access to when you join Cardone University. You want to practice on coworkers, friends, colleagues, not customers. So right now, you can actually get 12 months access to Cardone University, the Facebook groups, and a ticket to our 3-day sales and business boot camp in Miami. We got 4 scheduled for this year. Might add another one, not sure yet, but they're 4 for sure. Okay. Tickets to this boot camp typically start at $6,000. And that's a 3-day deep dive with Grant and the sales team. Sales, marketing, business development, culture creation. Okay. Normally tickets for those things are $6,000. But we're doing 12 months at Cardone University and a ticket to the boot camp. You ready for this? $1,497, $1,500. Would you invest $1,500? Would you invest $1,500 into you, into becoming a better closer, into building a better business, into having the right material and the right people to practice with? When was the last time you spent $1,500 on something? What did it do for you? Okay? Give yourself this gift. Your future self, your future you, is waiting for you to do this right now. So you can go to cardonesolutions.com/Cardone U free. Because if you can't make a decision on this, you can get some free access. Okay. Cardonesolutions.com/Cardone, the letter U, the word free. When you go there, you're going to get 4 options to get into Cardone University. The last one is the $14.97 offer. Okay. Cardonesolutions.com/Cardone, the letter U, the word free. Okay. And if you have questions, you need more information, my job is to get you information so you can make a decision. So feel free to give me a call direct. I'm at 310-777-0352. Shoot an email out, David, @grantcardone.com. Okay? Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you. This has been another exciting episode of the Cardone Solutions Podcast. My name again, David Bradley. I'm going to leave you with the words of Grant Cardone. Be great, because nothing else pays.